right, so I adjusted the channel yet again. I actually started this channel by using the regression channel that is on Thinkorswim to project where these lines would go, because it takes averages that I was not really able to see super well. And so I traced it over with the regular channel lines so that I could adjust it a little bit here and there. But anyway, so we are kind of still continuing this up leg here. And you can see that May, you can see the volume levels for trading in May is way down compared to, the previous months. And so this is just generally a tricky sort of month to trade in anyway. And you can see that that is the case. So anyway, this morning the PPI report came out. It immediately dropped down this morning and then started to recover. So that's where we started trading this morning. Okay, so the way I was thinking of it this morning is we have like no momentum going either up or down, and the drop that it had immediately recovered. And so we're probably going to stay, pretty close here in the short term. But also, I'm looking at the longer term and thinking that it might start tipping down a little bit. So I did a short, got in a short right there, and it looks very good. The MACD on the short term is looking very promising. And it kind of bottomed out here at the gold SMA. And I was really kind of hoping for a little bit bigger trade. So I didn't end up getting out. And also kind of looking at the fact that this peak was lower than this peak here. So I'm hoping that it will continue to drop, but I'm watching it very, very closely. You can see the red and the orange SMAs are starting to kind of tip over here and possibly drop. But then it went up a little bit further, and I'm not at a huge loss right now, so I'm not too terrible worried. Here, this concerns me a little bit because we did end up going up quite a bit and actually surpassed this last peak here before it started to drop. So the opening bell is in half a minute, and since this happened at 8:30, oftentimes when the opening bell happens, you'll see kind of a repeat of that sentiment that you saw earlier. So that's what I'm holding on to. The MACD is also really high. Slightly concerned, but I'm watching it really, really close. This is looking like it might drop again. Okay, this is about 4 minutes after the opening bell. It really had a lot of indecision right at 9:30 when it opened. It just really didn't go anywhere at all. So now it's starting to drop, and I'm very hopeful. Gotten to the point where I actually got in. Just kind of watching it. Okay, now we formed like the third peak, I'm hoping, and hope that will drop some more. Okay, but it actually didn't. It continued up, and now it's formed another peak that's higher than that one. So I'm a little bit discouraged right now. I'm trying to figure out if maybe I made the wrong decision. And I was just kind of going out to reanalyze the information here again. And I played with the Fibonacci lines here. I did it as if it were going to descend. And it looks like it kind of bottomed out at that 78.6% line, or very, very close to it. And maybe that's all of the dip it's going to get. I'm not sure. And it's come up now to the next Fibonacci line, which is, they're pretty close together here. But it's interesting that that's kind of where it's hesitating, is that line right there. Just to clear up the screen, I went in and got rid of it, but I just thought that was kind of an interesting bit of information. Okay, I'm still hanging on. Kind of hit that gold line and acting like support again. And at this point, I've kind of decided, this is just not looking good at all. I really maybe should reverse at the next best chance that I get. So I put in my order here. This is about where I think it might go. And like it's kind of bouncing off of that line right there. So I put in an order for two, one to get out, one to get back in a short. I mean, excuse me, a long. Okay, so I'm in a long now, and it dropped some more. So it's really being tricky this morning. All right, now this is a nice recovery, and I'm back into the green a little bit, trying to just make up for that last bad trade. This is looking really, really good. So I'm happy now. I think I made the right decision there, but it just unfortunately dropped a little further. Okay, so I put in my exit order up here. This place is where the last two peaks got up to, right here and here, you can see. But the likelihood of it getting up there is a little iffy. So when it hesitates, like what we see right here, I went ahead and just got out there. It just seemed to be really slowing down at that point. It did continue to go up a little bit further, and now it's showing possible drop. So I put in an order to go short here. Now I have lost, with all my commissions paid now, about $6. So I'm not too upset right now about where I'm sitting. It's just getting a little frustrating to try to make money. So I'm going to try to ride this leg down. The MACD is looking like it's going to drop a little bit, and try to ride that leg down to even just right here would be enough as a short. So looking good. Okay, the MACD just crossed and we hit the orange line there and kind of bounced a little. I'm hoping that it will bounce and keep dropping a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So I did get out there and then it dropped down a little bit further. And this is the fourth order that I'm putting in here. I think it's bottomed out and I think it's going to go back up because I think generally speaking it's going up today. Okay, so I put in my order down here a little bit lower than it actually is right now. And it dropped down there and took it. And I'm in a long position now. And it continued to drop down to that blue SMA, which wasn't a terrible shock to me, but I maybe slightly surprised. And then it dropped a little bit further. So that was disappointing. However, it started to level off again, and I'm hopeful that it will continue to go up. Okay, this is looking good. I'm actually above where I got in. I'm hoping that it will at least get up to the last peak that it had there. And we're looking pretty good here. All right, it raised enough that I went ahead and put in a stop order down here. I'm really, really hoping that it will go up. And I think it probably will, but I don't want to risk it. So I put in a stop order there and I got stopped out. So I did make money on that trade, and now I've actually made about $10. So just having to work really hard for it this morning. All right, so we're going to try this short again, and I got into a short here, right about this level. The MACD is looking good. It'll probably get down to that point right there, which should be awesome. And it went up a little bit further, and then that's a nice big red candle. MACD is just turning. And I actually had to go do some other things. So when I got back, it had dropped down to this point and I got out and I have made my goal now. So there's my trades. I did 6 trades, I believe. 5 trades. Let me see. Yeah, I did 5 trades today. Okay. So you can see the quantities that they have here. And there we go. Thanks for joining me.